devil, your family member may have experienced sickness, but let me tell you, when they left their body, they were healed. They're not sick in heaven. They weren't sick when they left that body. They were whole, completely whole. And if they were old, they were young again. So they sure don't want to go back in that body. And if they are elderly and their time is over, don't ask God to keep them here. Sometimes he'll let you have them, and then they'll have no kind of life. You can actually make it miserable if you try to keep someone here past their time. If they're 90 and they have run their race and they're about to go home, don't ask God to keep them another 10 years if they're not asking it themselves. You let them go home and be filled with God's glory and let their life receive reward for what they did down here. They don't want to be old again. They don't want to be here if they can be with him. That's why he said it's better that I depart, because I can be with him. So you got to change the way you think about dying. If it's a believer, celebrate. You know, I know you miss them. You're supposed to because you love them. But we all belong to him first. And he is jealous over you. The other thing you need to think about is this. If somebody say they were a teenager and loved God and there was an accident and they went home to heaven, you don't know what their life could have been if they'd have been here another 20 years. Who knows? He knows the beginning from the end. He knows when every person's life will leave their body, and he has to decide, am I taking them home now, or do I let them stay a while longer? Do I have something here for them to do, or am I not done with them on the earth? And if he chose to let them come home to heaven, you just need to trust him. Let him heal your grief and let them go home and celebrate. Because they will have the biggest party you ever even dreamed of having in your life. And your family and friends collect gifts for you from the time they get there. Remember, they're watching. They even know what you like now. They will fill your mansion from the floor to the ceiling with gifts. And when you leave the throne room, you're going to go to your mansion and have a huge party with all your family and friends. They didn't forget about you. They're making lists of places to take you, like the Valley of the Falls, which is this beautiful, amazing place in heaven. In Song of Solomon, it talks about the mountain of spices. They're real. It's the most magnificent mountain range. There's nothing on this earth that can compare to it. As you ascend into a new level, you have new aromas. The rocks change colors every level you go into. You smell a new aroma. When you get to the top of this mountain range, and now you're never going to fall, you're never going to get tired, you're not going to be out of breath. Can you imagine climbing mountains in heaven? Anyone can. A 5-year-old, it doesn't matter. When you get to the top of these mountains, I finally made it one time, there is a valley that I could not see the end of. And they call it the Valley of the Falls. I counted 50 waterfalls in this beautiful valley. It was so beautiful. And you know what it made me think of? The original earth. Because there's a place in heaven, when you go there, you go into this place, and all around you is a hologram. You watch God when he created the heavens and the earth. You watch him out of nothing. There's nothing, and then he's there. You see him speak the worlds into existence. You see him throw the stars out into the heavens. You see him take his hand with water and pour it on the earth, and there is an ocean, not oceans. One landmass, and then ocean all around it. They had flowers on the original earth. One bloom would be the size of a 3-story house. The trees were like 200, 300 feet high. A dinosaur could have stood under a flower, the smaller ones. It was amazing. And you get to see it. You get to see when he created the dinosaurs and put them here. You get to see how he created the Ice Age, why he created it. Isn't God good? You're not going to have to wonder. I love to talk to evolutionists because they get saved when I'm done. Well, how do you know God created the heavens and earth? I saw it. Well, if they don't run right then, because I do have pink hair, if they hang around long enough, the love of God begins to flow out of me, and they don't want to leave. and they begin to weep when I tell them why he created this earth and how he took them from the inside of himself, sent them to this earth so he could live inside of them, and one day us all live together. They're captivated. That's what revelation does. It changes you. He no longer is a student of evolution. This one young man, my plane was bumped. Hey, I love it when that happens. Most people get upset. Oh no, I was going to a totally different airport than what I was scheduled to go to, and met that young man, changed his whole life. That he now knows there is a God that loves him, that created this earth and the heavens. So God has got everything recorded for you. When you get up there, you're not going to have to guess or wonder anymore. You will have that revelation given to you, but he wants to give you some now. So there's a place called Creation Lab that you go into, and you have to create the door to enter into it. It's a place of adventure. You still use your faith in heaven. We are sons and daughters of God. He wants us to create with our words. On earth, you create an atmosphere in your home with what you say. You create life or death in situations by what you say. Even what goes on in your own body, in your finances, in your relationships, your words create. And you see God creating with his words and how he spoke it. He would speak something, and then he would look at it and go, do I want that? Do I not want that? And if it looked good, he kept it. Read the book of Genesis again and see what it says. He spoke it, he looked at it, saw that it was good, and so it stayed. If it didn't, it went away, and he said something else. You actually see God creating when you go into this amazing place in heaven. So you get a lot more than just a mansion. The mansions have living flowers that grow out of your wall. Some people have waterfalls cascading right through the middle of their mansion. Some people have no roofs on their home, and they have the grass and the trees growing out of their floor. The birds come in and sing to you, but they're not going to mess. One of the best parts about heaven, I tell people, is you'll never get dirty. You'll never get sweaty. You're never going to get hurt. You don't ever have to take a shower, a bath. That's not going to dig in their dirt and plant things. You take your hands out, they're clean. If you go swimming in the crystal sea, it's just like real water, except it's beautiful. Swim with the dolphins for a long time, and it doesn't matter. You can breathe under the water. It doesn't matter. And when you come out, you're dry. You can surf. When you get out, you're dry. Yes, they surf in heaven. Do you think he'd give you the stuff you like and not give them their stuff? They have a surf park called Wipeout. I don't know if I like the name. Where you ride 80-foot waves. So people in Florida, that makes them real happy if they're surfers. He didn't leave them out. He didn't leave out what you like either. Whatever it is, he has it there for you. And when people go to heaven all the time, he's always creating new things. People go, the word says he never changes. They're not talking about his creativity. Talking about his character. He never changes because he always loves. He always hopes for you. He always desires everyone to know him. And when you're made in the image of God, you were not made just with his outward appearance. You were created like him on the inside. He has a heart. His heart doesn't beat like ours. It's not a physical heart. He has the heart of his spirit, the heart of his being. You have a spiritual heart too. Your daddy has one. When you get born again, you get a spiritual heart. It doesn't look like this one. You're going to find out what that is tonight. When you go down the streets of gold up there, it's so amazing. They have you walk by, and these waterfalls are beautiful, and these green, transparent angels. I'm going to talk about some of the angels now. They step out of these waterfalls, it looks like, just filled with green light. They're beautiful. If they ever start talking to you, if you ever could fall asleep, you'd be so relaxed you're actually floating around, not even realizing you floated way down the stream. Because the words are like music when they speak to you. The other thing you get to see in heaven is your guardian angel. Well, you'll see him first when you leave because they always take you home to heaven. And they're going to sit down and have a long talk with you when you get up there because they're with you the whole time down here.